What was your session about at the conference?
It was about innovations in publishing. So what I was looking at was new things that publishers are doing, or new ways in which publishers are behaving. And I looked a little bit at ELT, but I actually spent more time looking outside of the ELT industry. Because one of the things that I've really picked up on is that there's a lot of innovations in publishing going on outside of the ELT industry. Both the sort of mainstream magazine industry, that sort of thing, but especially also aimed at kids who are learning to read, learning to write, and there's a whole range of e-books, apps, and so on out there, which are much more interesting, much more engaging than a C-Spot Run sort of book. So I was showcasing a few of those things and sort of trying to brainstorm a little bit. What could we do along these lines for the ELT industry? And
if there's one particular thing that you can think of that's outside the ELT industry that you think we could learn a lot from?
Yes.
In terms of what we publish and how we make things accessible to teachers. What would it be?
It'd be hard to narrow down or to sort of come down on one side between integrating multimedia more closely, especially video, that sort of thing, and personalization. Some of the apps that I showcased are very much allow the user to personalize things for themselves, for their learning behavior, for the sort of field of interest that they're interested in, and that sort of thing. I think either of those are sort of top runners and what we need to do more of in ELT.
And do you think that these innovations will benefit most ELT teachers?
Probably more the learners than the teachers. I think the greatest benefit is to be had by the learner, because the language can be portrayed, can be presented in a much richer way through an electronic medium than on paper. On paper you can have images and you can have text. That's about it. Whereas in an electronic medium you can have a wider range of input, but the user can also interact with it much more. And as we think or know, in order for a learner to perfect or improve their language skills, language production is a very good thing. And the electronic medium just fosters that much more than the paper medium.
What kind of innovations do you foresee in the next 5 years?
I think there'll be a lot of smaller pieces of electronic content, whether those are mobile apps, for example, or e-books, whatever, which users will buy in their own right. So they won't have been set them by the institution, by their teachers or whoever. They'll just troll around the iTunes store, for example, and say, "Oh, that looks nifty." Something that's quite cheap, maybe £2, £3, thereabouts. That helps them focus on a particular area. It might be grammar, it might be vocabulary, it might be reading, whatever. So I think a bit of a shift from teacher-mediated or institution-mediated, and much more with the learner expressing interest in, this is what I want to learn about or want to practice a bit more, and I'll just see what's out there.
And finally, congratulations on your new role as President of IATEFL.
Thank you.
What do you hope to bring to that position? Because when there's a new person, there's always kind of different things. What would you like to see happening in IATEFL?
Various things. I think we need to embrace technology and the web and Web 2.0 much more than we are already. And we are. Most of our special interest groups have email discussion lists which are fairly lively. That's great, and we clearly want to continue that, but I think we also need to build on that. There's a lot of activity amongst teachers on Twitter, for example. Much of that is fairly haphazard and random. There's a couple of very nice initiatives, like there's the ELT chat hashtag. So twice a week for an hour, teachers know that this is going to happen, so they turn on their computer, log into Twitter, and then they discuss a topic which they've previously arranged. I think it's things like that we need to engage in more. And related to that is, one thing we've noticed is that the average age of the average IATEFL member, i.e. the teachers, is going up. And that's great, that's lovely. We like it that teachers stay members of IATEFL for a longer period of time. That's great. but we definitely need the younger teachers to join as well. So as I say, that sort of goes hand in hand. So that's hopefully what I'll be able to bring to the party.
Wish you the best of luck, Eric.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.